What's up, birdies? Here we got a 2015 Honda Odyssey. It's got the 3.5 and just needs an alternator. Luckily, it's somewhat close to the top up here, but I hear there's no room to get it out. So put some real time on this thing. We'll call it 10:45 a.m. right now, and try to keep this video a little bit short so it ain't going to be detailed of every bolt that we take out. But just a quick run through. We're gonna throw a 14mm down there on that tensioner to get the belt off of the alternator. Y'all can see it down there, probably not. So get it off the alternator, and then we are going to take these mounts off, the power steering reservoir, the washer reservoir. All this is going to come off. We're going to disconnect this AC line. We're just going to make as much room as we can to wiggle that alternator through this area. All right, so like I said, it's 10:45. We'll check back up. First thing we're going to do is take the negative off the battery. All right, quick update. It's 11 o'clock. It's been 15 minutes. So the power steering reservoir, we took it off. We took the mount off. We took the little push rivet thing in to get this loose. The washer, or the coolant rather, the reservoir sits down in here. There's a bracket that bolts onto that part of the frame, and the line runs. You can see those plastic clips that are empty. That's where the line runs through. So we just got it sitting over here. We're ready to start taking bolts and plugs out of the alternator. So we're finna just look at the new one and see what all needs to come off. There should be a plug on the back. Should be the big old hot wire slug right there. Plug on the back, and a couple mountain bolts. So hang on. All right, another 15 minutes on the job. Right down there is looks like a 14, and then up here at the top, where is it? See that little greenish looking bolt right there? It don't look like a 14, but both of them's coming out next. It was a 12mm to get the main battery lug off, and then there's another boot right here, and it's got a blue connector plugging into the back of the alternator. Just peel that boot back and then squeeze the side of the plug, and it's got like a little lever. Squeeze it, pull it straight back, and it came out. So like I said, it's 30 minutes in. It's 11:15. All right, remember all that room we made? It only helped a little bit. It still ain't got no room. So I had to put an uncomfortably amount of pressure on this AC line. I don't think I busted it. I didn't hear nothing escape. But you kind of gotta, like spin it this way, get it out, put it back the other way, flip it up, flip it around backwards. It falls down face first, and then just fish it up through here. It's that simple. It's 11:30, 5 probably at this point. All right, next update coming soon. All right, we all buttoned back up. We got our coolant line ran, coolant reservoir, the bracket down there at the bottom, bolted it back on. Got the push rivets back in on these two. We wound up taking this off of that bracket. It helped the install. Next time I'm going to push on this with like a screwdriver and pull this off of that mount, and then take that mount off, because that was kind of a pain. Somehow going back in with the new alternator was a lot easier than taking the old one out. Yeah, don't forget put your AC line back on too. Belt routing, you can Google a diagram for that, but it goes from power steering straight to alternator. Yeah, that's about it. To diagnose this, jumped the car off, and I got my multimeter on the battery, and we was only getting like 10 volts or so. And you know, as a comparison, I put it on my Accord, and it was getting almost 15. It was like 14.8. So now that everything's buttoned up, before we put this cover back on top of it, we're gonna get this thing crunk up, and I'm just gonna test to make sure we've got enough juice, make sure that new alternator's working. All right, so we just finished up button it up, got the hood shut. I did check the voltage at the battery once we got it crunk up, and it was 14.2, so we good. So here's the loadout, y'all. 14 millimeter wrench, that is for the tensioner. If you got one that's twice that long, that'd be way better. I did try to put it back on with a 14 millimeter socket in my ratchet, and it worked a lot better. But the thing is, that tensioner, once it relaxes, you're not getting your ratchet back. So if you just want to, be riding around with the ratchet and the 14 millimeter socket stuck on your tensioner, that's on you. If not, one of them bad boys, obviously a tensioner tool would be the best. Your regular old metric Allen set here, it's going to be a 6 millimeter for that one, that mountain bracket that's attached to the alternator. But don't worry about that, because it probably would have broke before that bolt came off. So luckily, on my last brake job, I had to buy this set. That 6 millimeter attached to the reducer on the 1/2-inch breaker bar is what got it off. The alternator's held on with a 14 millimeter bolt at the bottom. Again, you're gonna need one of these bad boys right here. 12 millimeters at the top, and everything else was a 10 millimeter as far as the coolant reservoir bracket, the power steering reservoir bracket, the AC line, the loom mount. It's got a 10 millimeter holding like the loom on. It was a 12 millimeter on that main battery lug on the alternator. The one that came on the car was a 12. The one that came on the new alternators was 13. But we did make some sacrifices. That 13 millimeter nut, along with my 13 millimeter socket and my short extension, got sacrificed to the undercarriage. I took off every cover underneath this thing, and I still couldn't find it. Young Apprentice did drop one of the bolts to the power steering mount. I was able to find that, but I couldn't find my giant rig of extension and 13 millimeter. So that's missing out my Pittsburgh. Hashtag not sponsored. Maybe we should call somebody. Maybe they'll send me a replacement. I don't know. But it's freaking, what time is it? I don't know. I had to take my watch off to do this. It's let me find the top and bottom. It's whatever time that is. I can't see it. So that's how long it took from 11:30 to now. I could probably shave 15 minutes off of that though, at least. All right, birdie out.